Y'all, welcome. Suzanne, welcome, welcome. How you doing? Okay, got rid of the feedback. So, welcome to Quatro de Mayo, 4th of May. David Gray, I'm so happy to see both of you people here. Hello, hello, hello. What have y'all been doing this week? It's finally warming up. It's going down to 50 tonight, which is warmer than it's been the last few nights anyway. The garden is kind of dry, Suzanne. We are expecting rain tonight and tomorrow. Hey, I just got the notification I'm live. It's glad the reminder that I'm live. That's good. But I'm gonna have to turn this off. Look at all the email coming in. All righty. So let's see. What does the weather say? 2% chance of rain tonight. Low 50. It's going to rain tomorrow afternoon into Saturday morning with lows at 54 Friday and 57 on Saturday. So those are decent temperatures, I think. We have been trying to recover from our weekend. And my allergies are kicking my butt. I've got bad spring allergies. Fall doesn't bother me quite so much, but the privet hedge is blooming now, which is great for the bees. The bees really like privet, but my lungs don't. When you say that you're warming up starting Saturday, what are your warm temperatures, Suzanne? And I love blueberries, David. What kind of blueberries do you have? I can't eat asparagus because of my gout. Suzanne, have you heard of Norse Farms? NOURSE Farms. I think they're either Connecticut or New Hampshire. Really, really good source for berries. They sell bare root, good quality plants. That's where we got a lot of our blueberries. I love the champagne blueberries, which are pink, and the I think it's called peach sorbet. They're sweet like candy. Let me see if I can get a link for you if you're still shopping. Oh, they're in Watley, Massachusetts. I knew they were in New England somewhere. There's their link if you're interested. So we've got 4 people in here. Who are the other 2 people? Is that you, Charlie? Are you one of the other 2? And then someone's hiding.
I guess.
Oh, so anybody here watch the Correspondent's dinner in Washington? A June-bearing fruit called Sparkle. So talk to me. We we've got some really big changes coming that I'm not going to tell you exactly what's going on inside the house here, but I'll make a video on it. I'm extremely stoked and excited about it. Okay, so David's growing sparkle blueberries. Bear's in June, and Suzanne she's got Jewel. Anyway, so I'm excited about changes that are coming, and I hope that you all will join me in my excitement once I make it public. It's going to be a couple weeks, but I'm really stoked. And what I'll say is the guy came today to take laser measurements of my kitchen, and that's all I'm going to say. I will ask for people's opinion on my step 2 of my super exciting news. Exciting for me. Sparkle strawberry. Oh, strawberries. Okay. We have little strawberries this year. We have been kind of neglecting our strawberry beds. Have either one of you tried the pineapple strawberries, the white ones? Are they any good? I bought them one year, David, and then I forgot to plant them, and I found them all shriveled up and dried up on a shelf in the greenhouse. How's that for sinful? Yeah. So our front gardens with all the fava beans, we were thinking we weren't going to get any fava beans because they just keep getting taller and taller and blooming. And then we went out and looked at it the other day, and lo and behold, down low, the beans are coming up the stalk. So I guess it starts at the bottom and grows up. We haven't really grown fava beans yet. For the beans, we usually, when we've grown them in the past, turn them under as soil enhancements. Has either one of you ever grown fava beans? I love them sauteed in olive oil with garlic, lots and lots of garlic. But they are a pain to clean. And no, I don't drink Chianti and eat liver with them. You know what that was a reference to. But those are going great guns out there. The bok choy is kind of going to seed, but that's okay because we eat the flowers. The bees love the flowers. I trimmed up my tomatoes. You know, I'll trim from the bottom of the plant up for about a foot to give it plenty of air circulation because I plant them very close, and we want that air to circulate to keep the leaf spot gone. So do either one of you, what do you guys use for pest management? What do you spray? Or do you spray? Just curious. We we mix up insecticidal soap. Then we use milk spray for mildew. Just milk in a sprayer, whole milk. It's non-pasteurized, Charlie, or can you use pasteurized milk?
We do milk.
Just milk. Well, one of our favorite go-tos, and I was hoping more people would be here tonight to hear this, what I found out last week, which is kind of sad. If you use neem, the neem trees, are in India. And what they do is they press the seeds from the neem trees to get neem oil, which a lot of people use as a organic spray or drench. Takes care of insects that are down in the soil and biting and chewing insects, but it also helps you fight fungal and bacterial infections, leaf spot, on your plants. I was talking to my friend in India, who's in Hyderabad, and she told me that the neem trees in India are dying. They've got some sort of blight that is taking out acres and acres of trees. So if you happen to use neem, it's about to go way up in price. So we have a large Indian community here in Atlanta with several grocery stores that are rather large grocery stores that I'm going to go to and get some bottles of neem oil, that's just pure neem oil, and mix it myself, I think. Yeah, it is a good idea. It's great stuff. It won't hurt you to eat it. I know this. I brush my teeth with neem toothpaste, and it keeps my gums healthy. So that's sad that climate change or something is killing the neem trees in India. So things are changing around the world with temperatures and soil, and going to be challenging to adapt when to grow what. And I think prime growing seasons are going to be shortened. So last Saturday, Charlie and I went to our first festival, really. Last year we went to a meetup in Savannah, and that was a very small turnout and small festival. There may have been 8 booths there. And it was interesting, but this was our first full-fledged festival that was in Clarkston, Georgia, which is a suburb of Atlanta. And if you've heard of the DeKalb Farmers Market, which is like an airplane hangar that sells anything that's in season worldwide. The humidity, Suzanne, it's a humid country anyway. Isn't it, Charlie? Most of the country very humid?
Yeah.
She was suggesting.
India.
Yeah. But I know the neem
Monsoons.
kind of grows in the northern part of the country. Not up in the mountains, but I guess in the plains. We had 2 neem trees in pots here, and then we forgot them one winter and didn't bring them in, and didn't remember until it was freezing and they were toast. But it's kind of scary. So back to the festival. We we went to Clarkston, which is known excuse me, is home to a huge refugee population. And our friend from Afghanistan has been in Charlie's wood shop for the last 6 weeks, learning how to use a lathe to turn pens and bottle tops. And of course, he's sending money home to Afghanistan to support his wife and daughters that were not able to escape. And so we had his pens, his bottle tops. We had 4 kinds of honey. We were selling blueberry honey, sourwood honey, clover honey, and Charlie's honey from his hives. We had pepper plants and tomato plants that I started from seed. Hey, Jayla, how are you? Happy Cinco de Mayo. It's actually Quatro de Mayo. But welcome, welcome, welcome. And I had pepper jelly, and I was also selling vanilla extract kits. And before I went into Clarkston, I did research. Sometimes when you go into these smaller cities into a festival, they require that you get a business license just for their city. So I was poking around and trying to find out if I needed to do that. I didn't, thank God. But I have made a you-know-what load of vanilla extract, different vanilla beans from around the world. Each vanilla bean has its own ambiance, if you will. And I use different extracting fluids, alcohols. And then up pops this information on the screen that, you can't sell vanilla extract. It's against the law, at least in Georgia, because of the alcohol content. So I'll be enjoying our extract for years to come. And I have all these vanilla beans. So I'm like, what am I going to do? So I decided to put together vanilla extract kits. And this is a vanilla bean kit. It's a glass bottle that I ordered with 3 beans in it. It's a 4-ounce bottle. And these are Madagascar bourbon beans. I wish we had scratch and sniff computers. So who's in the room right now that uses vanilla extract in their cooking? Anyone? Because this is our grand prize tonight. It's a $20 value. I get $20 for that. Because vanilla beans are expensive, and then the bottle wasn't cheap either. So with the vanilla bean kit, I gave recipes talking about the different types of alcohol to use, depending upon whether you wanted a sweet extract or just a plain vanilla extract or one that's a little bit spicier. You want a quart. Wow. Do you know what their extract was, Suzanne? What did they use as an extract? But I also have a recipe for people who, for one reason or another, don't do alcohol. And so when I give this away tonight, I'll give whichever the winner wants. They want the handout on the alcohol extract, or they want one on the glycerin extract. What kind of jelly did you get from them, David? So anyway, people were really, really pleased with this. So when life throws lemons at you, you make lemonade, right? So I think this is going to be a staple for me at the fairs. Oh, so they imported the vanilla extract from Mexico? They didn't make it, Suzanne? There are Mexican vanilla beans. Is that what you mean? The Mexican vanilla beans are supposed to be really chocolatey. Wow. How many jars of jelly did you get, David? Or is that the flavors that were mixed in the jelly? Mango, jalapeno, and pineapple. So while I wait for David to answer that, tonight we are out in the garden planting peppers. We have roughly 280 peppers to put in, and Charlie put in, how many peppers did you put in, Charlie?
4 rows.
4 rows of, it's probably
At least 10 each.
At least 35 pepper plants you put in, and we've got a lot more to go. But because this was coming on for the live, we had to stop and get something to eat. Yeah, prickly pear and something else. 4 jars. Wow. That was expensive to mail to you, David. Yeah, we had our pepper jelly was popular at the market. And we made, I put all sorts of fruit with my hot peppers. Yeah, I hear that, Suzanne. So what have you all done in the garden this week? And there's 5 people in here. You lurkers, come on, someone say something. Jayla, what you been doing in your garden? Or do you garden? 5A. Oh, cold. Kentucky Derby picks. May the best horse win. You know, I don't even look at that anymore. When I was an equine science major, the first college I went to, and we had an opportunity to go and what they call groom at the Derby, which means work in the stables with the racehorses. And then we were center field for the actual race. That was fun. Your cellar flooded? Do you have a sump pump down there? Yeah, that's one of the drawbacks of having a cellar. Charlie, when I came up to look for houses and he stayed in Florida in 2014. Duval, welcome, welcome. He asked me to find a house with a basement, and I didn't. I found this house, which is on a slab. 4 horses died mysteriously at Churchill Downs a few days ago. Do they know what of? That sounds like a poisoning. Let me look. I'm going to look that up. Wow. Churchill Downs suspends Southie Joseph Jr. head of Derby following deaths of 2 horses trained by him. Scratches another. I wonder if he is drugging them. Four horses. Well, that's suspicious. I'm reading. Musculoskeletal injuries. From injuries, y'all. Euthanized for humane reasons. You know, according to what I just read, 2 were euthanized, but they had structural injuries. And let me just say this, having worked professionally in the equine industry, they really abuse those thoroughbreds. They race them, they're like 2-year-olds. You shouldn't even climb onto a horse until they're 3. And the thoroughbred breed matures late. So they don't quit growing till they're 5 or 6 years old. So when they're running these youngsters, they only go one way around the track. And if they work them really hard for these big races, it literally bows the bones in their legs. Makes them a little crazy. Every major, overtraining is like stress cracks, Suzanne. So when you see something going down for musculoskeletal skeletal injuries, that's what they've done. They've stressed those young horses to the point of they're breaking bones or pulling ligaments to the point they're not going to heal. And even if they could heal, but it would cripple them, these people are so callous, they just go ahead and they euthanize the animal because they don't want to spend any more money on them if they're not going to be able to breed them or whatever right away. And at 2, they're too young to breed and too young to retire. You can't sell them as a pleasure horse. Can you tell I don't really approve of horse racing? Yeah, it's really sad. Sorry to see that. So where was I? So I trimmed my tomatoes, and for the first time, I took the parts of the tomatoes that were main stems, not uh, just the leaf, the branches, the sucker branches. I stuck them in soil, and I'm seeing if they'll root. If they do, I'll have all sorts of peppers that tall already if they're taking root. And it's been what, about 3 or 4 days, honey? And they started out all wilted and sad looking, and now they are
Yep.
standing up. So I think that method is going to work. Yeah, they don't. They're either 5 or 6 years old, Suzanne, when their bones harden. Yeah, that's how I broke my back and my neck, is training thoroughbreds off the racetrack. It's a real challenge to get them to do anything but flat out run. It's hard to get them equalized with their balanced with their muscles because they're used to going one direction of the track. So when you get a horse off the racetrack, it takes months and months to train to balance them out and to get them to walk, trot, canter instead of just gallop. And I had a horse that I put him in was called a hand gallop, which is not an out and out full run. It's one that's controlled, a controlled gallop. And he decided he didn't like me telling him what to do, so he tucked his head and he flipped. And when I came down on my ample rear end. We were going down the side of a road, so when I came down on my butt, it was on pavement. And then they train us as horse trainers never to let go of the reins. And I had the reins in my hand, and he jumped up and jerked me up onto my feet, which exacerbated the injuries. And I was able to get back on him and get back to the barn. But when I went to get off, I had no feeling from my hips down, and someone had to grab me, and I went straight to the ground. I couldn't stand. It was, how long was I in traction, Charlie? 18 months?
Yeah.
18 months in traction. Um, Put on all sorts of weight. That's how I got this cuddly body shape. Because I can't do sit-ups. I used to run. I used to lift. But more to me to love, right? Nikki, welcome, welcome. We're talking about all sorts of things. You missed my update on the festival that we did last Saturday, our first festival. We're going to try to do a festival once a month or once every other month. I've got to get our inventory, keep an inventory up. But we did very, very, very well. And we were invited to another festival because our booth was so popular. Charlie brought his spinning wheel and was spinning yarn, and that was a point of interest to a lot of people. So back to the garden and planting all these peppers. We've got peppers, we've got tomatoes. This is the front yard. Fava beans, the bok choy is going to seed. We've got beautiful chard. What else do we have? And garlic. Garlic out the yin yang. I was going to feed it today. I was going to mix up and film myself mixing up a concoction to feed the garlic, which is a heavy feeder, and now's the time to be pouring the nitrogen to it. And I went out and I was going to use a cocktail of blood meal, Epsom salt, and bone meal. So who knows what those do? Who knows what blood meal does? You planted your tomatoes, use the winter sowing method. You put little domes over them, Nikki? So blood meal, the NPK on it is 12, 15, and then 05. or 0.5, which means it gives you a lot of nitrogen. And right now we want the garlic, of course, to put the bulbs on, and the nitrogen helps to do it. And no, it's 12, 1.5, and 0.5. So the blood meal, which you use very, very little of, if you put it directly on the soil and then water it in. But if you're putting it, I use a 5-gallon bucket. And the recipe that I use for the blood meal is 1 teaspoon per gallon. And then Epsom salt opens up the stomates, is that the right word? And allows a plant to absorb the micronutrients in the soil. And I put a teaspoon of Epsom salt. 2 tablespoons of Epsom salt per gallon. And then the bone meal, I do 2 tablespoons of that as well per gallon. And the bone meal will give you phosphorus, which helps establish real healthy roots and gets things blooming. So I was going to use that and top off the water and drench my garlic, and then go down in between the rows of the plants that the peppers that Charlie was planting today, and through my tomatoes. Epsom salt, by the way, is really, really good for tomatoes and peppers. And you can drench it like I'm talking about with 2 tablespoons per gallon. Mix that up. But you can also put it in a spray bottle and foliar feed, making sure you get underneath the leaves, because that's where the breathing, if you will, of the plant happens. But you do that like once a month. So I went into the greenhouse and I have all this stuff under the benches. And I'm pulling stuff out of the bench to put this together. And I've got these big plans to do. You could side dress with fertilizer, yeah. Suzanne wants to know if how to fertilize her garlic. Yeah, see, foliar feeding is easy, isn't it, Nikki? Anyway, so I'm pulling things out, and I'm like, I had 3 bags, 3-pound bags of blood meal. Where the heck is my blood meal? And we looked and we looked and we looked in tubs and whatever, and we're both shaking our head, and we knew we had it. Well, evidently the rats enjoyed it over the winter and ate it all. So I just had to order it, and it's going to be coming in the next day or two. But to talk about blowing my plans, so we went ahead and started planting the peppers, because we have so many, putting the bone meal in the hole. And then I bought a bag of pelleted alfalfa. It's a animal feed, which is a wonderful slow release nitrogen fertilizer. That there's a couple of ways you can use your pelleted alfalfa. If you buy your alfalfa, don't buy it as a garden alfalfa. You'll pay an arm and a leg for it. Go to a feed store like Tractor Supply or some horse feed store that you may have in your area. And I bought 50 pounds for $22. And you literally just take a handful and just scatter it in between the plants. And this is, Suzanne asked, can she top dress in between the plants? The pelleted alfalfa, Suzanne, will decompose slowly. It's a slow release nitrogen. So you can scatter just a handful, just throw it down the aisles, and then water it in real heavy, or put it down if you know it's going to rain. Just go down and put it down, pull it down. And then there's a second way to use it. You take a 5-gallon bucket, fill it like a quarter full with the pellets, and then fill it with water. Dark Lord Manette, thank you for coming in. Good to see you. Good to see you. Welcome, welcome. So you fill it with water and let it sit there a couple of days, and then you can just spoon the water out and go in between your rows of plants. And then when you get the mash, the mash, then you can take it and just kind of sprinkle it in between the plants. So that you can use it in 2 different ways. So don't waste the water, and be careful with the mushed up alfalfa because it is nitrogen. You don't want to burn your plants, but if you top dress in between the rows, the center of the rows, then that'll give you some nitrogen and encourage your plants to really take off. You're slow tonight dealing with other lives and cleaning the house. Of 34 people, come clean my house. Oh, you're going to do a mail call tomorrow? You got seeds? Good, good, good. You're welcome, Suzanne. So let's see, who's dyeing yarn? Charlie spins yarn, and he loves to dye yarn. What is she dyeing her yarn with? Now I'm curious. Yeah, and depending upon the mordant that you use with the dye, you can change the color of the outcome. And what is she dyeing? Is she dyeing wool, linen, cotton? That is exciting. So am I rambling too much, y'all? What do you all like to use for fertilizers in your garden? Do you use the natural stuff? Like sometimes Charlie likes the commercial stuff, and I catch him, I slap his hand. But he does use some commercial urea. What do you call it? High nitrogen to cook the straw bales, because urea is urea. He just posted an article on fertilizing garlic. Bone meal. She's dyeing blue. I came in late, but she usually does merino wool. Cool. What does she use for blue dye? Does she use, what is it, woad, Charlie? That's blue?
I thought woad was a red.
Was woad red? What was the blue? You're the dyer in the family.
It could be woad. It's been a while.
It's been a while since you've done that. Indigo. You make compost tea. Is that anything like poop soup? Bury chicken scraps over the winter in the areas I plan to grow in the spring. That's good. Choking on my own spit. Oh, don't you love it? So, let's see. Compost tea. You know what I need to do? I need to go cut all the leaves off my comfrey and start soaking comfrey for a couple of days. That's a wonderful drench. Oh, did y'all see my new t-shirt? I saw this and I thought it was perfect. Vintage herbalist. Oh, come on. Where are you? Knows more than she says and notices more than you realize. Is that me or what? In passionate purple. All right, come back, Lisa. Where are you? You're disappearing into the Bruce, the garden cat. Yeah, I've got a Facebook page named after my business, and another one called Budding Herbalists. And someone on either my Heirloom Herbs page or Budding Herbalist told me about the shirt, and I just had to get it. Cute shirt when you can see it. Oh, no. Oh, no. So I wasn't able to use my recipe on my garden today. The plants had to settle for pelleted alfalfa in between them and the bone meal in the hole. But I mean the bone meal. So when the blood meal comes in the mail, I'll mix this up and go out and drench everybody. Yeah. So, what would y'all like to talk about tonight? Can you give me some ideas? There's only 6 people here. Got to figure out how to get get more people here, y'all. Would you share me? Recommend me? I got to look at this text I just got. All righty. One of my refugee friends. I asked him to come in. Since I know he's on his phone, I'm going to ask him to come see us. Let's see. I am telling him we are live and to come join us. Don't you love spelled autocorrect? All right. What do I think of your starter potting mix? Oh, if you think your starter potting mix is bad. What makes you think that your potting mix is bad, or what are your seedlings doing? Yes, molasses is fertilizer. That's an interesting thing. I bought a gallon of blackstrap molasses to use as fertilizer last year, Charlie. That's what that was for. If you want to try that this year, we never did anything with it. We've been putting it in our coffee. Yeah, seedlings seem to be struggling. Are they not growing? Are they turning yellow? Are they drying out too quickly? So what's going on with them? So I think, Nikki, I think we need to get some sort of game going in here like Stacy has to get people involved. What do you think? What can we do? We could do trivia. Some input would be great. I'm just getting this blank stare from everyone. Come on. Some of the marigold seedlings look bad, and they're usually easy to grow. Yeah, they come up pretty easily. What's different this year than in years previous, Suzanne? Are you using a different potting mix? Has anyone in here tried germinating seeds and just pure vermiculite, like I speak about in some of my videos? I've learned that the mix that I put together, which is a lot of vermiculite and perlite mixed into Pro Mix until I get a very, very light mix. I put that down in the seed tray and put the seeds down and then put horticultural grade vermiculite over the top, however thick it needs to be for the particular seed, and then bottom water and mist the top. And I might mist the top every day, but just mist it. Don't drench it, but mist it. And when it dries out on the bottom, then I'll put maybe a 1/4 inch of water in the bottom of the tray. So you're using a different potting mix. So that might be it if it's a different makeup. Not all potting mixes are made the same. So Charlie just posted alfalfa meal as fertilizer. M.I. Gardner has a video out on alfalfa pellets versus cubes and when to use it. He's got a different approach than I do. So it's one of those things that everyone has their own way, whatever works for you. Dark Lord grows your own alfalfa for the garden. You must have quite a bit of land. Grow it, cut it, dry it, mix it in. Well, Suzanne, I started on my hot pepper journey in August 3 years ago. So I've been trying to establish this little backyard business of teaching classes and selling the random plant, because I always grow more than I'll use, in an attempt to cover the cost of all my seed. But Nikki will tell you I need intervention when it comes to seed buying. And my customers mostly come from Vietnam, Cambodia, Thailand, Korea, Japan, India. I have a few Jamaicans, very, very, very few American-born, which is fine with me. I love people, and I always end up visiting with the people who come see me. But over and over again, people from those countries would say, "Can you find this pepper for me?" And everyone was into peppers. So I said to myself, you know what? You need to become an expert on peppers. And having had a career writing about culture and religion, I'm into, world topics anyway, world cuisines. So the first thing I did is I did my research and found a lot of peppers that the Asians were asking for. I had to get a license to import some of the seed because you couldn't get the seed here. And I remember the day. It was August 23rd. I started my seed. So it wasn't in the spring. It wasn't in the early winter. It was August 23rd. And I had such success starting those peppers. The soil temperature was right. The air temperature, the ambient air temperature was right. And by Christmas, I had peppers. So that started me on this craziness. And now I plant, 60 varieties a year. And I'm focusing on different parts of the world depending upon the year. So that first year it was Asia and some from South America, ahi peppers from South America. I always grow peppers for Jamaican restaurants, so I always have my Scotch bonnets. So when you say at least you have time to start over, my whole point of this whole story was I started peppers in August. And of course, I've got a little greenhouse, and I kept them warm over the winter and set them back out in the summer. And I've got some pepper plants now that are like 3 years old. I had Scotch bonnets that we planted the first year we were here and would bring inside for the winter. They lasted 8 seasons. So you can do it. So don't be afraid to start over. You may have to get creative with providing an environment for whatever you have as the season's ending, but try, cold framing, space heaters. One year we, to keep the heat in cold frames, we took empty 2-liter bottles, filled it with water, and put dye in it so it was black, so the water was black, and put them around like our tropical fruit trees or tender plants. And during the day, it would absorb heat from the sun, and during the night, it would slowly release that heat. So try that. You've got snow again? Hey, Brampton. Brampton Gardener's here. That's wonderful. Thank you so much for coming in. We're talking about all sorts of things tonight. I've kind of been all over the place, which is me if I'm not focused on a topic. We're talking about fertilizer. What do you use to fertilize your plants? You talk about a short growing season. Brampton's got it. Cool. You're very welcome to grace you with my presence. Why, I'm so happy you are. We are out planting peppers tonight, Brampton. And poor Charlie, he's got Meniere's disease, which means if he bends over, he gets seasick and very nauseated. So he was scooting around on his butt planting peppers for me. It was kind of cute. My flowers and containers, I use a 10-52-10. Is that something you mix up yourself? That's real high phosphorus. Or is it something that you purchase? Branton's so classy. Branton's classy. Oh, Lord. Tomato fertilizer. Is there a particular brand that you like? I like to make poop soup with my chicken poop. Does everybody know how to make poop soup? You need 3 5-gallon buckets. I hear that. Whatever's on clearance at the end of the season, that's smart. No chickens there. You need some chickens. So I take chicken poop that's been in the compost for a while, and I'll take 1 5-gallon bucket, fill it 25% full of the poop, top it off with water, leave it 3 days, pour half of that in another 5-gallon bucket, which makes it half full, top it off with water, and then mix that, and then pour it again, half in the third bucket, and top that off and use that. And you just keep filling water in the first 2 buckets till it gets up to a ratio that you just did. And then when your poop soup's not giving you any more colored, stinky water, just dump that in your garden, put it top dress in your garden. Poop soup. Whose poop? Chicky Doo's poop. Dog and cat poop. No, you don't want carnivore poop in your garden. So today I took the little chicks that we got a couple of months ago. We took them out to the big chicken house. They're in their own little pen, staring at the big chickens, staring back at them. So that was fun tonight to do that. I got olive eggers are going to lay olive green eggs, and 2 chickens that are, what are they called? They're blue rock. They're barred rock, but they're blue. And they're supposed to lay extra large eggs. So I've got eggs coming out my ears. So that's how you do your compost tea. How long do you let the compost rot in the water, Nikki? We could make Dexter poop soup. Hey, in some parts of the world, they use human poop. If you eat a lot of rice, think about that. So, Super Bloom. Anyone in here grow fava beans? I've got my first crop coming. We usually use it as a soil builder. We had some of our young fruit trees. Charlie put in apricot. What did you put in last year? Apricot, plum, nectarine. We've got crab apple, pawpaw. What else? Anyway, did the apricot drop their fruit?
Yes. But
Yeah,
late frost.
we had a late frost come in, and the fruit trees were full of blooms, and we're excited we were going to get fruit for the first time on several of them. And then we had a late freeze. And when I say freeze, I don't know if you remember Stacy at over at Hands in the Dirt talking about that really late hard freeze we had. It was just one night, and the trees all dropped their fruit. Charlie had. I like to say when we're doing our videos, Charlie's showing us his nuts. He loves his nuts. I love his nuts. But let's get back to the fruit. He has hazelnuts and almonds, and he was so excited this year. His almond tree was covered with little baby almonds, and then that freeze hit, and there went his nuts. Froze his nuts off. Oh, never have you. You like warm, salty nuts. Yep. Nuts. Yeah. I do them in the air fryer. So what kind of nuts do you like? I think my favorite nut is a toasted macadamia. And then my second favorite is a pecan. What do you all think? Oh, she sent you a white hibiscus? Walnuts. Walnuts make my gums blister. Charlie's allergic to cashews, although I like the way they taste. I don't have it in the house. Macadamias are pricey. When I lived in South Florida, one of the places we went to let the possums loose when we raised up a litter of possums was a macadamia nut farm. And he always had macadamia nut butter, and he'd give us jars of it. It's like peanut butter, but it was macadamia nuts. Oh my God, to die for. So what kind of hibiscus do you guys grow? I used to grow Roselle, which is known as sorrel, Jamaican sorrel. Pecans and cashews. Yum, David. Have you ever made candied pecans? Boiled them in with cinnamon and sugar? And you boil them together and then put them on a cookie sheet and let them dry out. Man, I could eat that by the fistful. Chocolate covered macadamia nuts. I don't think I've had chocolate covered macadamia nuts. So what's the one thing y'all are growing this year that's new? Who's growing something brand new to you? Oh, pralines on a salad with blue cheese. Absolutely. Dark Lorbenet, what kind of artichokes? You doing the globe artichokes? Armenian cucumbers. Charlie, she's growing Armenian cucumbers. We get those to come up, but they never produce for us. I don't know what we're doing wrong or whether it's just the weather here in Georgia. Because when we lived in Alabama, we had them off the yin yang. Dwarf tomatoes. I'm growing a new tomato. It's called Phil's Top Cluster. If you look at Baker Creek, Phil's Top Cluster tomatoes, they look like really knobby, funny looking, about the size of your hand, but each knob peels off and it's its own tomato. I really look forward to that. You can't eat regular cucumbers. They give me horrible indigestion. Brampton, have you heard of salad burnet? Salad burnet is a cucumber substitute. It's a leafy green that looks beautiful in a hanging basket. It tastes just like cucumbers, but without the burps. David, you have hardy kiwis. We have 2 kiwi vines. Did you know you need a male and a female vine to get kiwis? And they came through this 7 below weather, so they're leafing out right now. They started blooming yet, Charlie?
The kiwis?
Yeah. Nikki's growing clitorises. That's called a clitoris pea. But are they blooming at all? You haven't seen any blooms? Our Japanese persimmons covered with blooms this year. New varieties of squash and cukes. Monkey bread. Garlic from Italy. Loofah. What kind of loofah are you growing? There's several kinds. I think you need a longer growing season, Brampton. Rhubarb. I grew rhubarb here for years and never picked any. Isn't that awful? And it didn't come back last year. Issai is supposed to be self-pollinating. Look that up, Charlie. Issai kiwi.
ASS.
Yeah, let me scroll up. David posted. It's called Issai, Issai kiwi.
Oh, that's the Chinese type.
That's the Chinese? Yeah. What do you have out there?
I think that's what we have.
You think that's what we have? Well, how come we don't get any kiwi?
I don't know.
Okay. Indiana Backyard Gardener, thanks for coming in. Yeah, those butterfly peas. Are you using the butterfly peas, Brampton, and to color your rice or in your mixed drinks or anything? Of course, when I learned it was called a clitoris pea, you know, my sense of humor, I had to get some. And it's coming up in the greenhouse. They're like that tall. So, Adrienne, we're talking about what we're growing this year that's new to us. What are you growing that's brand new to you? Comfrey? How is the comfrey? Is it survived? Did it survive the trip to you? You didn't get any blooms. You know, I wonder if you started under artificial light in a pot, so it thinks it has a longer growing season if you can get some blooms, Brampton. They're going to need sun. You don't think the comfrey survived, Adrienne? Oh, you dried your butterfly peas. Have you tried them, Duval? Oh, please tell me that your comfrey didn't die. I sent that comfrey with love. What does it taste like, Duval? We were just planting peppers. We've got a lot more peppers to go. Tonight is going, it's going to be 50. I just checked the weather. Earlier today, it said it was going to 48, but now it says 50 as the low tonight. So the peppers should be okay. Yeah, still at 50. Yeah. So I look forward to trying. I'm gonna hit you up, Duval, for some recipes later if I could with the clitoris peas. People are starting to show up. 10 people. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up for me. Am I spooling, Charlie? Did we lose our internet?
I hear you.
Are you online still?
Yeah.
I've got this spooling thing going on.
Yeah.
Uh-oh. That's working. What's YouTube? Okay. Minty and flowery. Okay, I had that turny thing on my face here. Oh, so no picking my nose, Adrian? I know, I'm weird. So let's see. So do we want to do the drawing and say goodnight early? We've been on for an hour. I want to hear more about what people are growing. That's new. You should have seen Charlie's bees today. It was like LA at rush hour with all the bees in the air. We look out the bathroom window and all the hives are facing the house, and there's like solid walls of bees going up into the air. I really, really hope we get a good honey harvest this year. We won't know. When are you going to go in? Or you need to put more boxes on with honeycomb, right? He's ignoring me.
Oh, yeah.
It's amazing. I'm going to have to film it one day, Nikki, so to show you all what we see. You could be sitting there doing your business and looking out the window at the bees. I saw a wren come down today and eat several bees. If you get up early in the morning and look out the window, the hummingbirds are eating the bees as they come out of their hive. Asparagus beans, tiger melons, bitter melon, and Armenian cucumber. The asparagus beans are the yard-long beans. We grew red and green last year, and I decided I like the red, and we're growing those as well. I'm trying white bitter melon. I have seeded the Chinese and the Indian bitter melon as well. Oh, thanks for reminding me, Brampton. I need to start my borage. Yeah, well, you need entertainment while you're in the bathroom, don't you, Nikki? I mean, you can read a book and get hemorrhoids, or you can sit there and watch the bees do their thing, right? Okay, so Suzanne, you transplant things on Memorial Day. That's a good way to remember when to put things in the ground. So what are you all doing for Mother's Day? Who's giving plants to Mom? Anyone? And if you wonder why I keep doing things with my hands, I've got arthritis in my joints, so I have this habit of sitting, massaging myself as I speak to you all. Nothing. After the Indy 500. Okay. All right. So, one of these days, one of you who knows how to make this wheel come up on the screen is going to call me and walk me through putting the selection wheel up so you all can see. So you all can see that. But until then, we are stuck with doing it to the side here. I'm sorry, Suzanne. My mom died in 2005 in my arms, actually. Holiday sauce. Oh. Yeah, I guess a lot of us are at the age where moms are gone already, but I'm a mom to four-legged creatures, some creatures without legs. So let's see. Random name selector. Get it up. All right. Are we ready for drawings, or we want to visit a little longer? I mean, I know I put on the topics that we're going to talk about the correspondence dinner, but I forget why. If you go to the YouTube clips of the correspondence dinner, the speaker made some really, really good points about my former profession, and the importance of First Amendment to all of our freedom of the press. And we're losing it, but let's not get depressing. Yeah, one of these days I'm going to get brave and talk about my near-death experience. It's very personal. It may turn some people off, but it may shock people and it may comfort others. One of these days I'll do that with my near-death experience. And all I'll say is, you talk to her, she hears you. Suzanne, the dinner was hilarious. The roasting was really funny. Charlie's father was a special guy, and he was recognized after he died for his part in establishing the early warning system in Huntsville, Alabama, for tornadoes. And I don't know if you know much about Huntsville, but it's in Tornado Alley. And one year you had how many come through town, Charlie? That killed a bunch of people. It took a side of a house off and picked up a bull, an Angus bull, and put it on the second floor of the house. But his dad was instrumental with the Civil Air Patrol to putting in the sirens that to this day save lives. His big thing was, nature-wise, was hummingbirds. And they had his wake at a nature preserve on Monsanto Mountain. And what was really special is, as my mother-in-law and Charlie and his brother and sister were up in the gazebo talking about their father, what came up and buzzed around them but hummingbirds. Now that's neat. You have 7 kids, Duval? Wow. What types of things do they do for you? So you want to hear about my experience, Nikki? It's some people are going to say I'm totally out of my mind, but I swear to you, when I share it, I'll try to work up the courage to do that one day soon. So Charlie's dad and hummingbirds. Charlie's mom is still alive. We're going to go see her soon. She's down in Mobile, Alabama. How old is Mom?
89.
89? And she's in better shape than we are. Yeah. So we're going to go see her for Mother's Day. And she's already has, 3 restaurants Charlie picked out she wants to go to. Oh, brunches, dinner, concert, Mother's Day events. That's wonderful. I never had kids, or none of my children survived. So, you know, Charlie gives me a hug and a kiss in the morning and says, Happy Mother's Day. Sometimes he gives me a card, right, baby?
Yeah.
I do have something I'm planning for him for Father's Day this year, but that's going to have to remain a surprise. So, okay, so we're going to have 3 prizes tonight. The first drawing we're going to do is going to be your choice of 3 packets of seeds from Baker Creek or 5 pounds of worm poop. So I guess if you, that's okay, Nikki. You know, if I were meant to have children, I would have had children. I mean, we even tried a couple of different times to adopt, and the adoptions fell through at the last minute. So it just really wasn't meant to be. We went through the Department of Children, whatever they called it back in the 80s, Child Protective Services or whatever, their course on adopting one of those children. And they give you a book to pick your child out. You feel like you're picking out a puppy. And there was a little boy, he was mixed race, that we thought would be a good fit. And Charlie, before he got vitiligo, he was very dark skinned. His Native American heritage showed up. It's a beautiful kind of a nut brown color. So this child could very easily have been our child. But they wouldn't let us adopt because I was too white. So that fell through. And then a couple of other adoptions, we actually got to the point of about to get in the car and go get the woman and bring her to Florida to have her baby. And there was a huge snowstorm and we couldn't get to her. So you've got to believe in a higher power was telling us that we really weren't meant to have children. So I have creatures. Yeah, it was definitely God sending a message. Am I a good teacher? Thank you. I'm the lady that all the neighborhood kids come to see. If they're scared, if they're in trouble, if they're lonely, they come to me. So, especially the little boys, because I do gross things like make party noises with my hands. Boys love me. Yeah. That was the 80s, Nikki. I mean, I don't know today if they'd let us adopt a child like that too. It's and I thought kids needed families regardless of what they look like, but we live in such a messed up culture where we're taught to other people who don't look like us or think like us or pray like us. It's really a sad situation, but anyhow, if you want your choice between seeds or worm poop, it's $9.19. I'll give you to $9.21 to type in worm poop. Worm poop to get your name on the wheel. Worm poop. You'll be able to choose between 3 packages of seeds from Baker Creek or a bag of worm poop. The cat. You keep waiting for the cat to move. Okay, David. Okay, David, worm poop. Wait a minute, you already said that, didn't you? Worm poop, worm poop. Suzanne. One of these days I'm going to learn some coordination here. Help! Where did it go? Suzanne. Duval. Adrian. I should also say you need to be in the continental United States, please. My cat has been sitting in my lap for over an hour now. I'm tired too. Is that all the poopy people? Did I miss anyone? I've got David, Dark Lord, Suzanne, Duval, and Adrian. All right, it's spinning, it's going, it's going, it's going, and it is stopping on Duval. Okay, Duval. Woohoo! Okay, so Duval City Girl Gardener, you just won your choice of either seeds or worm poop. Which is it? She's thinking. I can hear you thinking. What do you want, Duval? Worm poop or seeds? Okay. You know what this means? This means now we have to go to Baker Creek. So you get 3 packages of seeds. What kind of seeds am I looking for you? Yeah, the fun page. I'm surprised Nikki didn't say she wanted poop. Did Nikki leave us? Yellow melon. Is that a type? No search. So you're looking for a melon that's yellow? Melons. Come on. Let's see. I don't know what's going on. My internet is just kind of spinning. Okay. A yellow melon. Does it matter what kind? How about golden crispy from Japan? Okay, I added that to my cart. 2 more varieties of seed. What else do you want, Duval? Oh, Nikki, don't go. You gotta stick around. One of the grand prize is a vanilla extract kit. You gotta stick around. No poop. Oh, Nikki. Okay, so what else, Duval? You get 2 more kinds. Come on, just shop. Ghost peppers and lettuce. Let's see. Another name for ghost peppers is Jolokia, red Bahut Jolokia, and peach Bahut Jolokia. Which one of those sounds good to you? Red or peach? You know what? I'm going to send you peach. How's that? Give me the third thing. Okay, you want lettuce. I'm going to send you the first lettuce that comes up. Whenever it comes up. That's too hot for me, Dark Lord. Let's see. Oh, lettuce Forellenschluss, an old Austrian heirloom. It means speckled like a trout. Okay, so Duval, my email is scrolling on the bottom of the screen underneath my picture. If you will send me an email with your mailing address, then I'll go ahead and ship this directly from Baker Creek to you. How's that? That was fun. I love shopping with people. Okay. So I am going to spin the wheel now for blood meal, a 3-pound bag of blood meal from Amazon. Type in blood if you want blood meal. It is $9.27. I'll give you to $9.29. Homemade pepper spray with ghost peppers that doesn't burn your plants? Okay, Dark Lord, David, Suzanne, not for pants. I hope it's not for pants. I know you meant plants. I'm just giving you a hard time. Yeah, I was cleaning seeds out of my hot peppers, my ghost peppers and things last year, and then I took off my gloves and went and used the bathroom. Oh boy. Plants. Whee! Okay, so just David, Dark Lord, Suzanne, and Adrienne for blood, huh? How many people do we have in chat now? 8. A lot more people can play. I want to know who's lurking. All right, here we go. Spinning for blood. Click, 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 click. Suzanne. Suzanne, I do believe I kept your email this time. I mean, your snail mail this time. Okay. All right. Now this, as far as I'm concerned, this is really special. For those of you who came in late and didn't hear my sad story with my vanilla extract, is I made a boatload of vanilla extract last year, and it's cured for about 1.5 years. I used a variety of beans from Tahiti, India, Mexico, Madagascar, and there was one other variety, and then I used a variety of different liquors, thinking I would sell it because I knew I was going to start doing these fairs, right? And then I got doing research before my first festival last weekend, the first fair. And luckily I did the research and found out it's illegal to sell vanilla extract, that if it's made with alcohol. So I had all these special bottles I ordered, and wet load of Madagascar beans, which is the most popular bean to make extract, vanilla extract with. So what do you do with a wet load of beans in bottles? These are 4-ounce bottles. So I said, you know what? I'll put the correct number of beans in the bottle per ounce and sell the kit with the recipe. And it was popular during the festival. So I thought, why not give y'all a chance to make your own? Okay. Syrups, yeah, as long syrups aren't alcohol based. And you know what I wonder? I wonder about my fermented honey, because I do fermented cranberries and honey with ginger and turmeric in it. And the fermentation, it goes through the alcohol process. I'm wondering if that would be illegal as well. There are certain things you can sell in Georgia without having a certified kitchen, and those are things that are cooked under pressure, like jams, jellies, relishes, things that are jarred or canned, and vinegars. And of course, the alcohol would have been sterile. No matter what you do, it's going to kill whatever is in there, that's harmful. Rhubarb syrup, man, I'd trade you for some syrup. Yeah, you can gift them, Dark Lord, but why not teach people how to make it? So when I sell one of these, it's $20, and I give a recipe. And if you don't do alcohol, I give a recipe on how to use glycerin. If you do alcohol, I give several different types of alcohol, and each different alcohol gives you a different flavor extract. So this is my grand prize tonight. Again, I ask that you are in the United States, because shipping out of the United States is incredibly expensive. So if you want vanilla, and I'm sorry, Brampton, maybe I can send. I could probably gift you some beans if you want me to send you some, just the beans in an envelope. But anyway, if you want vanilla, this is a very special prize for you tonight.
Just too light.
$20 value just for this. I don't know what it's going to be to ship, but type in vanilla. Hey, Square County, thanks for coming in. Anybody want the vanilla kit? Vanilla. It is $9.33. I'll give you to $9.35. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 vanillas. I've got 6 people on the wheel. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, Adrian's not here. Is Adrian still here? Adrian, did you want vanilla? A chance at the vanilla? Spill the beans. Okay, if you can still hear me, it's telling me chat disconnected. Someone type something so I could see if you're still... Okay, it's connected again. Okay, so Adrian. Anyone else? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's 6 people. There's 10 people watching. It's only 6 people on the wheel. Going once. Going twice. All right, drum roll. Square County. Okay, so Square County. The way this works is my Square County. If you see my email scrolling at the bottom of the screen, you need to send me your real name, tell me what you want, and your mailing address. And I'll get this in the mail to you probably Monday or Tuesday, once I figure out how to package it. So get that to me, and so I can get this to you. And do you want the alcohol recipe or the non-alcohol extract recipe? What's Charlie giggling at? Oh, he's watching silly videos. You're supposed to be moderating in case someone gets rude in here. None of y'all would be rude. There's she wants alcohol. Okay. All right, so I'm going to do a little commercial for those of you who would like to try to do this, but you just want vanilla beans. I am willing to sell the vanilla beans. I'll just pack them in a Ziploc bag and mail them to you. Let me check real quick how much I need to charge just for the beans. Bear with me just a second. All right. These vanilla beans are $9 a bean, and it takes roughly 6 beans per cup of alcohol. If you would like to try this, I can set however many beans you want. PayPal me at the email that's scrolling across the screen. So if you send $9 per bean, depending upon how many beans you want, again, it's 6 beans per cup of alcohol. So you may want to just do half a cup to start. You do need to let these things cure at least 4 months before you start using. It's best at a year or 18 months. But I'll send you my recipes that gives you the different flavor profiles. And if you're like me, you'll probably want to do one in each type of liquor to find out what's tasty to you. But $9 a bean, PayPal at the email that's scrolling across the screen. Let me know how many you need, and make sure that you send me your mailing address. Brampton, what kind of booze did you use, and what was your ratio of booze to beans? The longer it cures, the less alcoholic it will be. So at 4 months, you'll still taste a lot of the alcohol. At a year, it'll have a tinge of it. At 18 months, you get a true vanilla flavor. And then don't throw your beans out once you've let them soak, let's say 18 months. Take your beans out, and 1 bean per half cup of white table sugar in a blender. Blend it all together, let it sit a few days, and you've got vanilla sugar. So like say you want to do a 4-ounce bottle, so you buy 3 beans, that'll give you a cup and a half of vanilla sugar when you're done extracting the vanilla flavor. Or you could do the same thing with a half cup of flake salt in a blender with the vanilla bean, then you get a finishing salt. That's wonderful. Oh, 2 years, they should be great. What kind of, you don't remember what kind of alcohol you used? Whatever you do, don't use Everclear. That was the worst tasting vanilla extract I've ever had. And I'm about to make some with spiced rum. Spiced rum is supposed to give you a very, very sweet, cinnamony vanilla. So I'm going to try that. So ask me in a year how that turned out. Right, you can make ice cream with it too, or custard. What are you gagging about, Dark Lord? I recently learned that vanilla fights some forms of cancer. So like with any other herbal thing that you're taking for medicine, you've got to have it build up in your system for it to start working. So I use that as an excuse to put a teaspoon or a half a teaspoon in my coffee every morning. And I have to say, I like the Madagascar beans and bourbon, or the Tahitian beans and vodka. Yeah, Everclear is something you can sterilize surfaces with, I think, Dark Lord. Vodka is the most common go-to for vanilla. It gives you a neutral vanilla, but I really like the bourbon because it makes it a little bit sweeter. And I recently saw a recipe using the spiced rum that, the Captain Morgan spiced rum. So I'm going to try that. Jesse's vanilla in her tea and coffee. It's good. You don't like rum, and you probably wouldn't like an extract with it then. But do try it with bourbon. You can even use cognac. Someone said they used Southern Comfort, but to me, Southern Comfort, just my stomach flips thinking about it. It tastes like cough syrup to me. Okay, Square County, what's your name, by the way? I'm Lisa. It means it doesn't like me. Oh, too sweet. So you probably would like the vodka best then. Yeah. So what do you think? Wild Turkey, again, that's a really strong flavored whiskey, isn't it? I bet Jack Daniels might be interesting. Black Label? Yeah, bourbon. I enjoyed they call these Madagascar bourbon beans. Not because they're in bourbon, but because they kind of... Hey, Chris, I just got your email. They kind of smell like bourbon. That's wonderful. I just rub it behind my ears, But those are special little bottles. Well, back before I changed my religion to one that doesn't let you drink to get drunk, I was a tequila drinker. And what they call White Russian, that's with the cream and the spiced rum and the Kahlua, right? And one night I got with a friend and we each drank like a bottle of Captain Morgan. And I joked about it. I found out Captain Morgan's first name the next morning, Ralph. And that's probably the last time I was inebriated to the point where I couldn't move. Oh. Yep, Chris, your email just dropped. Oh, this was a bender. She and I. And what's funny is she was my workout coach back when I used to lift weights, and I would run a couple of miles every other day, and in between I'd lift weights. We were health freaks, and what did we do one night? We just got rip roaring. You like gin? To me, gin is like drinking a Christmas tree. Me and my herbal remedies, if you've got inflammation in your joints or an arthritis like I do with my hands, I hurt so much that I rub them while I talk. If you get golden raisins, they have to be golden raisins. put them in a jar and top it off with gin and let that sit at least a week. 2 weeks is best. Then you start eating 3 or 4 of those raisins a day. It really does take inflammation out of your body. You smell like an alcoholic, but you're not hurting as bad. So if anyone decides to try that, let me know and if it works for you. Get drunk after your daughter was weaned and not drinking for 3 years, and you didn't realize your tolerance was shot. That's okay, Adriana. We all multitask, right? We're talking about getting drunk. Yeah, try, and it's tastier, Brampton. Put it with your ice cream. David agrees about the Christmas tree flavor. So you and I both chew on Christmas trees, huh, David? Oh, what are you cooking? Gin with guava. Guava juice? We're going to have to find something to trade, Brampton. You don't want vanilla beans. If you see something that I'm growing that you want, let's trade. I do have a lot of dried peppers from last year, and I intend to grind them up and try some meat rubs. Do you like spicy meat rubs? You're not shipping the syrups. Well, darn. Yeah. Oh, heck. All right. I would love to try the rhubarb syrup. Do you make the syrup? You make the syrup the same way you do simple syrup? What's the ratio of rhubarb to sugar? Pirate shipping? I still get press releases and they keep popping up here. Did y'all see that McDonald's is employing 10-year-olds and making them work to like 2 a.m. in the morning? I thought child labor laws made it so you had to be 16 to work. Okay. So this has been fun tonight. I want to thank you all for coming in and joining. I noticed that a lot of you come in. What, the McDonald's, Dark Lord? I think it was Ohio. I'm going to look up the story. Louisville, Kentucky. Fined this week after it allowed children to carry out unpaid work. McDonald's franchises face more than $200,000 in fines for child labor law violations. There's 2 different states. Refugee kids from lower income countries who don't know any better. Yeah, shame on them is right. One of my first jobs was at Mickey D's. Yeah, the McDonald's I worked at was in the parking lot of the Praise the Lord Ministry studios in Charlotte, North Carolina. And when Jim and Tammy Faye Baker, you remember them? When they'd break from filming, they'd come to McDonald's for lunch, you know. And Tammy Faye, who's about that tall with enough makeup on her face to color up 10 women in a beehive hairdo, would walk up to the counter and stare at the menu. Because McDonald's menus are very complicated, especially in the 70s, right? And we learned the hard way never to make her first sandwich that she ordered, because she would change her mind 4 or 5 times before she settled on what she wanted to eat. And she would signal that she was done changing her mind when she turned and went and sat down, because she expected you to come wait on her. That's one of my childhood memories, Jim and Tammy Faye. But I really thought, does anyone know, isn't it 16 is the legal working age in this country? Has that changed? Amazing. And then we had a sexual predator here in Loganville, Georgia, which is the next town to me, who was a convicted sex predator working at McDonald's, seducing the teenage girls that were working there. Got 2 of them pregnant. That was a recent thing. You thought it was 14? Huh, things have changed. Wow, 14 is young. Yeah, I believe if you look up the news story, Dark Lord, they were making them work during school hours and then into the late night. They're supposed to not work past, was it 7 o'clock? Yeah, it limits the number of hours, but I thought it was for 16-year-olds under 18. As I say, things have changed since the 70s. Yeah. All right, so our next live is going to be the 18th. And I told y'all I would do the second part of the herb talk that I did with Indiana Backyard Gardeners. But, I'm looking for the list of herbs. Adrian, did you keep the list of herbs that people wanted me to talk about? This is the list that we did talk about. Linda, I just got your email. Thank you. I tell you, if my head wasn't attached to me, I'd lose it. I know on one of my notepads here, I've got the list of herbs you all wanted me to speak about. Hopefully Adrian kept it. Let's see. I know this is riveting watching me thumb through my notes. Oh well, I'll find it. And anyway, so that's my plan for the 18th. And let me get you all to vote on something before I let you go. I notice a lot of you are coming in at like 9 o'clock my time. Should I push these broadcasts ahead an hour? Is that better for everyone? Is 8 o'clock too close to dinner and bedtime for the kids? Do I need to start coming on at 9 Eastern? What do you all think? Because I'd like to see more people join us. Don't forget to thumbs up there. I've only got 9 thumbs. Well, it'd be nice to have 9 thumbs, wouldn't it? Oh. Okay, so 9 o'clock better for you, Duval? We're going to make a note of that. Live at 9. I'm going to try 9, see if we do a little better. Those of you who know Danny over at Wicked Awesome, y'all tell her she needs to start coming. I know she's at rehearsal, but I'm giving her a hard time. She needs to come see us every now and then. So we'll see. Duval, I've got to play with it. I'd like to get more people in here. I know I'm competing with a lot of people. And when I first chose Thursdays, there weren't that many people on Thursday. So I'm going to try an hour later next week. And if there's not that many more people, then we'll look at going back to 7. But I don't want to compete with Brampton. All right. Well, thank you for coming. I want to wish everyone a wonderful Mother's Day or a holiday. Make sure, even if your mom's gone, that you treat yourself to something or light a candle. Remember your mom. Maybe cook her favorite meal. And remember to tell those you love that you love them every day. Stay safe. Stay sane. Why be sane? Why be normal? But until next time, y'all be good. And look for my videos coming up. I haven't been good about doing shorts this week, but I've got a bunch in the tank ready to be released. I've just been so busy. All right, y'all. Good night. See ya.